Hey everyone, I'm Nay, and welcome back to the channel. Today I'll be reviewing set 9441 Kai's Blade Cycle. This set originally retailed for $12.99 in the UK when it released as part of the Rise of the Snakes wave, which released back in 2012. This set contains 179 pieces as well as 2 minifigures. This is of course a throwback, and if there's any older sets that you'd like to see me review next, make sure to comment down below. Of course, if you enjoy my videos and would like to see more, please make sure to like and subscribe to my channel. It helps me out so much and ensures that you don't miss out on any of my future uploads. But for now, let's get into the review. As for first impressions, and it's definitely chunky compared to the builds they released today, and it's probably the least accurate of the main Ninjas vehicles in the show from this season. However, I'd say it looks a lot better than its show counterpart. I actually own 2 of these, but one's ended up in pieces, but needless to say, I grew up with these. I've had these since I was a kid, so there's a lot of memories I've had with it growing up, and it was definitely one of my favourites back then. Nowadays, it is a bit of nostalgia talking, especially compared with the quality of builds today, but it is one of the most prized ones in my collection. Anyway, back to the build, and it's an amazing deal. Just $12.99 for the bike, a side build, and 2 great figures is a steal. If you've watched the show, you know this is what the Sword of Fire transforms into, and it replaces his dragon early on in the season. The looks alone set this set so high for me. All of the flames and sharp pointy bits just seem to fit and complement Kai's character so well. It just seems like the perfect vehicle for him, especially with how Ninjago-y these blade pieces are. And speaking of, for such a small set, it's very reliant on stickers, which isn't great for small sets, since I know how hard stickers can be to put on, especially for younger kids, but it does really pay off. The really long flames on the side, the chunky one surrounding his logo on the front, they all just look so awesome. The other 2 it has is, I believe, this engine looking one on the side here, and I always thought this was some sort of ancient writing, but now I kind of think it looks like they're crossing snakes off after they've beaten or something, which is a lot cooler. The main play feature is that you can push down on this part here to make the sides pop out, and if you want, you can move it out further to look larger. And for what it does, it's really compact and works great for a set so small, which is great to see since smaller ones like this are just so uncommon. It's definitely not the best feature, but it's still cool and really easy to reset. Here we have the area for Kai to stand and hold on to the handlebars. You can actually get a better look at how this play feature works up here, but I always wondered why inside had so much white. I always thought it looked kind of out of place. But now that I think about it, it was probably easier for kids to see where to put the figure, and here he is riding the bike. The fire pieces next to his logo can be rotated down to store his swords. However, if you have any extra gold ones lying about, you can put them in here to make it a bit more show accurate. Moving down to the bottom, and it has these 2 curved blade pieces underneath, which I suppose you can remove and give to the figures for more weapons to use. I for one did anyway. However, leaving them on still works and looks fine. Unfortunately at the bottom there is quite a bit of exposed technic, but since it's a bike it doesn't really look too terrible, especially since it has these silver studs here which look like they're supposed to be the main engine for it. Overall, this is an awesome set, especially for £13. It has a fairly exciting play feature and has a load of character, and it's still one of the best I own today. The set does come with a little side build, like many sets from the season, which is a unique little shrine for the season's collectibles, the Serpentine Staffs. This one being the Hypnobrai one, and they're definitely one of the more unique collectibles, and they have this little snake head on top with the tribe's symbol up there. It's definitely one of the smaller and weaker ones, but it's a really cheap set, and the bike is the focal point, so it doesn't really matter too much. Moving on to the minifigures, I'll start with the man himself, Kai. This is his ZX outfit, which was Season 1's main suit, and it's super nostalgic, and I'd say his most iconic suit. Compared to today's suits, it holds up super well, especially since the current suits aren't that much different. They're mainly different colour schemes and symbols, but all 4 ninja had unique designs on their torsos. As you can see, he has these throwing stars tucked into his belt there, along with this grey line going through, which I always thought was really cool. It has this dark red armour on top with this beautiful gold pattern on it, and the dark red actually continues to the arms, which is super cool. The gold continues onto the shoulder pads, which is such a unique Ninjago piece, which they have reused quite often since, even to this day. The coolest bit was that you could fit both their katanas on their back here, just like that. Again, with the gold, you can see it here on the hood, which I love. It gave them a bit more movement in the head compared to their original suits, which is great. Taking the hood and shoulder pads off, you can see underneath Kai has his symbol on his back, and you can see the rest of the belt here, as well as where he holds the armor up top. He does have the one face print, which was fine back then, and it's still one of his better ones. Then here we have Rattler, who just comes with a spear, which is a bit plain, but not much to complain about. His design is pretty cool. Not only can you see the hypno in his eyes and the little smirk, but all down his torso and legs he has that same type of hypno design, which is really cool. Then we can see his underbelly goes all the way down in dark blue, along with those little yellow highlights for his headpiece. It continues this pattern atop the back, and as far as headpieces go, these were definitely some of the Way's most unique ones. They're so cool. Taking that off though, he doesn't have a second head print, which isn't much of a problem. And you can see that the scale and hypno design continues up top there. Overall, I think it holds up well. It's a lot more bang for your buck compared to the sets of the same price today, and nowadays would be close to double the cost for the pieces. As for criticisms, I honestly don't have many, and that's not just me being blinded by nostalgia, it really just has so few flaws. The fact that they could incorporate a play feature in such a small set is genuinely impressive and such fun, especially for 2012. There's definitely areas it could be improved nowadays with the better techniques and more detailed pieces, and the worst I could say is it's a bit big and chunky, but that's not much of an issue for most, since they do that quite often with their bikes. However, the figure selection is great. Having one good guy and one bad guy to fight was such a great idea. I definitely recommend buying it, it's such a cool set, and it's currently not going much for more than it retailed, which is so amazing. If you enjoyed, then consider liking the video and subscribing to my channel. It helps me out and supports the channel a ton, and it's greatly appreciated. But for now, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.